For the double palms, you want to feel like you're holding a barrel in front of you with the palms turned outward. Holding it, weight still in the back, arms slightly bent, and the chest is concave. While walking, we keep our weight in the back, doing tani bu. Pushing from the back leg, holding that barrel just at chest level. Here I don't have much range, so I turn around a few times, but you should go a long distance while doing it. One leg in front of the other, arms in front, eyes slightly over the hands. Now we're going to do the technique with the 9 palaces. Look at the pattern. We go from 1 on the inside of one side to the outside of 2 to 3 into 4. And then from there we spin around 5 to 6, 7. Once we get through all the motions, as you see in this pattern here, it flips over and the 9 becomes 1. We then turn around and do the same pattern as we return back to our original position. We're doing a spear hand first. Going forward, stick to that inside, and then to the next place. Normally these are poles. If you have poles, it's good, but if you don't, remember to stick as you go into the inside. So just as you reach that area, the spear hand extends and moves to the next area. One hand guides, much like a laser light, and the other hand strikes. Practicing this footwork will give you the necessary coordination to deal with lots of targets. Now we return. Just continue to refer to the map and you remember, keep the legs tight, weight in the back. You can do this with tani bu, but it's not necessary. This technique is always originally done with the spear hand, but can be done with any of the techniques. Now we'll use the first part of our motion. We'll see I spin and turn, doing the same movement that we practiced. The arm stays cupped or curved, comes into my center, and extends just as I get to my location. Each cup represents a strike, so it's important that once you get to that position, that the hand is extended. This is just a pattern to teach your body how to move efficiently. Doing this over and over for at least 30 minutes, your body will begin to understand how to change and move freely. Now with the second part of the motion, which is basically a spear hand, but my hands first come together. So as I spin around, my hands cup together and go to the next direction. Come together, next direction. Let them slide as they move past that next target. Each of these is supposed to be a pillar. So as you go around the pillar, make your body stick to the target as you move to the next target. This will help you with understanding how to deal with multi-fighting. Watch it as many times as you need to learn the pattern. And once you have the pattern, place the cups down. All the cups are 3 steps apart. So put one cup down, walk 3 steps, and put the next one down. Walk 3 more steps, vertical or horizontal, and put the next one down. So you have a nice square. Now I'm going to use the first part of the motion just to practice an escape from a single grab. As I'm grabbed, you'll see how that hand turns. I can use it to strike, depending on the range. And I can also use it to control his arm or suppress his arm while I use another strike. So the motion is just the same as the form, but I can change the range depending on the situation. Drop his weight, and you want to put that bone into his forearm muscle. That will pull him down, the pain will pull him down, but after you pull him down, do that strike. You don't want to just keep him there. You only have a fraction of a second to react. You see I use the hips and the waist, draw him in, and counter with the inside or outside hand. Now always be prepared for that next strike. And you see that elbow is right there, so I can strike him, or I can use that elbow to block. But against an experienced fighter, as soon as you pull him, you should expect that he's going to strike with the other hand. So I can block it with the elbow, but by turning my waist, I basically keep him controlled just by turning one direction or the other. Practice drills so that you can really feel where it's at. This will snap the arm, so please be careful practicing. You can snap the wrist or on the elbow. And this will usually be happenstance. It will happen in the middle of the fight, just knowing that you control that space. Now working drills with striking, pull that arm in, and throw the strike. The pull is from the waist, and the strike is from the waist. Now with two arms, you do the same motion 2 times. Turn in one direction, then the next direction. A lot of times when we're really doing actions, you want to do it 2 or 3 times. Think about sawing down a tree. You can't just slice one time and it's finished. You want to continue to saw back and forth, one direction, and then the next, until the tree is completely cut down. Once it's cut down, then you can worry about your striking. So with trapping, we're controlling that space between our arms and the body. Now I'm going to slip it in, drop my weight, and control the strike. So instead of just using it against the grab, when the strike comes in, one hand covers my face, the other one slips in. The covering hand is the most important, or maybe I should say the footwork is most important. When he pulls his hand back, you have to step in with him. Everybody will pull that fist back. Nobody will leave it out there. The elbow covers for the other strike. You want to time your step, so as he pulls back, you step in. And you can use it turning the body, just with a small pivot, to get more control. But see how I move in and that hand, even though I move against that punch, that hand's already there protecting me. So there's no fear moving in against the hand that's guarded. Now be prepared for that other hand. Once you trap them, their natural response is to use their other hand to start striking. So get that elbow up. You see how there's also opportunities for striking as well. Parry, use the footwork. I always believe that it's the second hand you're going to counter. The first hand, you're just going to stop. Stop the first hand, counter the second hand. And use your whole body to slip in. If you just use your hand, you got nothing. When you use your whole body, you can move forward, backward, or any direction. So just like the form, that's why you want to practice it so that your body moves in one piece. Now this is just getting used to understanding the space between your body and your opponent. These are good drills to practice. Learning how to circle around one direction. Once you tighten that space, you have him. And then from there you can start your striking. So practice keeping those arms controlled so you can pull them in. And then, like I said, like happenstance, every now and then, you'll trap him in there. Keep those arms close together so you can also get the break on the arm. Of course, you won't just be waiting, you'll be striking too. But keeping that together and turning the waist, there's enough power to do an easy snap. And please be careful practicing. These snaps happen easily, especially if someone's punching fast. Use those elbows, both the inside, the outside, and trap them to your own body. So you parry, keeping the hands up, hands should be up, and it can slip in. It's a slight turn of the waist. Now the X guard, the second part of the motion. As my hands slide apart, the X meets with the target. The other hand goes in for the strike. One hand touches, the other one enters. You can do either side, but it's important to make sure you use that waist to turn so that you get that power. It's important to practice the structures that we did in the beginning, the double palm, to make sure that when you strike, that force is there and your body is a stopping force. You don't want to play touch. The range changes wherever the strike goes. The leg, the back of the leg, the elbow, the arm. Now get used to really using that freely, letting it slide off, and you slide right in. Basically, as he strikes, you're hitting him at the same time. And always remember, that strike is just the beginning. It initiates your other attacks. Never think that one strike is going to finish the fray. Use your footwork and timing to find other positions. Make sure your legs are never still. Whatever target or whatever movement you're going to do, using this X guard, you have to continue to move around your opponent. Now we're going to use the grabbing with the X guard. So use that X guard, hands crossed just like an X, and then I can snatch with either hand to the inside or the outside. If he's not there, he's not there, and you can go right into striking. If he is there, go right into that grab. So you want to play kind of a game that he strikes. You don't know what strike he's going to do, what hand, or what height. And using this from the X trip, this is how the form does it because it's very low. But by using that X, you see I can lower my weight. After you've learned to open those hips, getting down is very easy. And my elbow goes against that knee or the back of my elbow, and I pull up so I make sure I break on that joint. Just dropping my weight, that will snap the knee. I can pull him back or I can pull him forward, which is important to practice the form. So against the punch, I can slip down and get into a good position, much like shooting in, except for this time you're going to make sure you break that leg. Now we're using the Baibu to cover ourselves. The Baibu, that first step, as I turn, it basically covers and parries my beginning like a shield. And I can use another step to control his motion. But it's important first to understand how to turn that Baibu. Make sure you don't put any pressure on the knee. Now just covering and keeping my hands close allows me to block and counter effectively. Using that waist, I can break the arm or I can snap into him. Turn with the waist. Learn to absorb that energy. Sometimes you'll take the punch a little. That's fine. This motion can be done big or small. If it's bigger, it's more like a lock. If it's smaller, it's just a quick counter. And move Baya Boob forward and backwards until you understand how to shield that body. You won't keep doing this, of course, but if the opportunity arises one time, it can really give you a good advantage. For the higher level, you use your elbow. The elbow guards that face or the inside hand, but still turning left and to right. As he's striking, you're gaining power. It's good to practice the same pattern over and over until your body understands it, and then move to another one. Here, so I can use that elbow to swarm and pull in. Just circles around the target slightly, use my weight, and drop it back. Now I keep him trapped in using what we did earlier, trapping him against my body so I can continue striking. The height changes depending on who you are, so every strike will change. A smaller man can get under easier, and a larger man can get over easier. So make sure you practice and test each strike. Now we're using the Baya Boob with striking. Using that Baya Boob, it's almost a small hop to help you get in position quickly, and that carries the whole body over. And when you swing back the next direction, make sure your whole body's intact. So watch the back, keep everything in balance and connected as one piece. You don't want your legs and body moving differently. You can hurt yourself or torque your spine. But it's more than just a strike. What it really is a takedown. When I move in, I want to be able to make sure that leg gets behind his leg every time. That way, just a strike can give him a little bit of off balance so I can do something else. Against the kick, I just absorb his weight. I twist in. It's important to twist. This is the last part of the motion. And as I twist in, it can be a little or a lot, but just a little bit to get me forward against him. So as his kick is coming in, he can't get it back in time, and I can counter it easily. You'll feel this as you twist in, absorb it at the same time or same speed of his kick. Always remember, footwork is key. Never do any static motions. And we'll see you next week.